So today is a requested video. My good friend Katie Alice ASMR asked me to do one, but I've had a couple other requests from some of you lovely subscribers to do a what am I reading, what have I finished reading, what's on my TBR kind of video. So I just got doing some grocery shopping, and this is what we're working with. I do have this really nice like sweatshirt kind of thing. It's that scuba knit that I got from the Nordstrom anniversary sale. It's a Zella, and oh my gosh, like if you could feel it, it is so soft, it's so nice. But I went ahead and made myself a cup of coffee. I love this mug. I know I've shown it in videos before, but it makes me think of fall. It's like a mustard yellow that looks like a cable knit sweater. So this is cup number 2 for me today. And when I was at the grocery store, I needed to get more creamer. My first cup of the day is always just black, and then any other coffee I have throughout the day, I have creamer in it. But I was out, and while I was there, I found a new to me, I hadn't seen it, Starbucks creamer flavor, and it's Irish cream. So that is what I have. It definitely tastes like Irish cream. I do like the Starbucks ones that are like real milk and cream and sugar and stuff. That doesn't have all the junk in it. But I have been on a Chobani creamer kick lately, and I haven't found one that I don't like yet. But anyway, so get yourself a cup of coffee because we're going to talk about books. So, being totally transparent, this summer was a terrible period of time for me for reading. I think it was just not having any time to myself because my kids were home, obviously, during the summer. It's just not something that got done. I think that during the summertime, when I finally had just a few minutes to myself, I didn't want to use any brain power, and so I would end up like doom scrolling. You understand? I know you do. But now that it's fall and I want to sit out on my back porch with a blanket, and I want to have a cup of coffee, and I want to read a book, and especially on days when it's raining, I want to read, and I've gotten back into the flow of things. So I wanted to show a couple that I've already finished, and when I say already finished, I mean in the last like maybe 2 months. That's kind of how far back I'm gonna go. So I don't know if I shared this or not. If I did, I apologize, but this was one of the ones that kind of got me out of my slump from the summer. And of course, it's Frida McFadden. I'm obsessed right now. I think as are a lot of people, and I will say even when I went to the library, I got another Frida book, and the librarian was like, "Have you read all her books?" And I said, "I'm trying to." She was like, "I'm obsessed with them." So anyway, I kind of finished up a big Geneva Rose binge, and now I'm kind of on a Frida McFadden binge. So this one was, I did enjoy it quite a bit. The Wife Upstairs. It was her house first. So this book I got at a used bookstore for $8. So let me read the back of it to you. Victoria Barnett has had it all. A great career as a nurse practitioner, a handsome and loving husband, a beautiful home in the suburbs, and a plan to fill it with children. Sylvia realizes that Victoria is desperately trying to tell her something. If only she could speak. Now that I'm reading the back, I'm definitely realizing I've already shared this book with you. I think I remember saying I wasn't finished with it, and it was very signature Frida, where like the characters in the story, I feel like they do grip you pretty quickly to get you in, but those last, anyone who's read a Frida McFadden book knows that like those last couple of chapters, you cannot put it down, and that's how this was too. This gave me at the beginning a lot of Colleen Hoover's Verity vibes. It was a very similar storyline, but it did have a difference, and I would still say it was a good one. So, this next one. This one is a hard pill to swallow for me. So, if you know me at all in terms of my reading, I am in love with Geneva Rose. I love her. I follow her on Instagram. She just had a baby a little while ago, a little boy, and like I'm just obsessed with her. I have read just about every single one of her books. Now, the first book of hers I ever read was The Perfect Marriage, and I loved it. I thought it was wonderful, and it hooked me into her reading, and I just kept going and reading more and more and more. So recently, like within the last year, she came out with the sequel to The Perfect Marriage. So this was The Perfect Divorce. And my husband bought me this for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas. And this is the collector's edition, so it's got the extra murdery zhuzh on it. Till death do us part, yours, not mine. Okay, so this is not as long as The Perfect Marriage, so I felt like, oh, this will fly. It felt very hard for me to push through it. I hate saying that. If you're a reader, I'm sure you can empathize with, you read something because you love the author and things they've done previously, and then there's always something that falls flat. And for me, personally, this kind of fell flat. The story itself is not bad. It's not a bad story. But when you read the first one, I don't want to give away any spoilers. When you read The Perfect Marriage, you learn about the protagonist, and you learn about the protagonist through the twist at the end. And the twist is so good. I loved it. I thought it was great. This is the same character. I think there was an attempt to make the reader have the same experience as in the first one. But at this point, I know the character that the protagonist, Sarah, that she has. Like, I understand who she is. I understand what she's capable of, how she thinks. Everyone wants to know what really happened. Most of all, former Deputy Hudson, who is hell-bent on finding the truth. But when the woman Bob slept with is reported missing, he and Sarah start to fight dirty, and a high-stakes game of cat and mouse ensues. Filled with page-turning suspense and Geneva Rose's signature twists and turns, this book will have readers wondering, can Bob and Sarah achieve the perfect divorce, or will it be death, till death do us part? Like I said, if you've read the first one, you know Sarah, you know her character, you know how she thinks, and so it just, I don't know how to describe it other than it fell flat for me. So anyway, I do like how it looks, and I display it on my bookshelf though. So once I finished The Perfect Divorce, it took me so long to get through it. I hate saying that, but once I finished, I went to the library and I went a little overboard because I was just like, I want something new. And so the first thing I picked, which it was just on my list, it was there, I had to do it. Yes, it's another Frida. Another Frida McFadden book. The Teacher. I think a couple different people recommended this one to me. I flew through this book. I read this in like 4 or 5 days, which is very fast for me. So this one was obviously a bit longer, and I'm trying to remember how it ends. This was so good, and it was so good. Obviously the twists were great, but the whole story, it was a little bit more of a difficult read, because it did involve some predatory, inappropriate, pedophile behavior. That's what it is. And that was, I didn't see coming, and so then I'm somebody who, there's certain topics I really don't enjoy reading, and that was kind of hard to get through because it was really just like, it was so icky. It was so icky. But Frida did a great job in the way that she wrote it. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I want to talk about it, but I can't because it'll give away the ending if I say what I want to say. Alright, I'm gonna do this and try to do this without sharing any type of spoiler, but I need to know. If you've read this book, please tell me down below in the comments, please tell me. Do you think it's possible that the female teacher did not really know who Jay actually was? That I need to know, because I've gone back and replayed it in my head, and I'm like, how did she not know, or did she know and just neglected it, and she's just as bad as her husband? I don't know. So just tell me. If you've read it, let me know what you think down below. But this was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I do still have the third Housemaid series book. I've got it over. The Housemaid is Watching. I think that's the third one. Pretty sure. I've read the first two, so I need to finish the third one. But I would love to get more suggestions for other Frida McFadden books. So, like, I can see here on the back, she's got The Coworker, need to figure out which one I want to read next, because I just can't stop. Let's take a quick little coffee break. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm being really hyper, and maybe it's just because it's like the morning and I'm having my coffee, and I get excited when I talk about like things like books and things that I'm interested in, so I hope it's still relaxing for you. Sometimes I feel like this is not relaxing at all, and I'm just being too much, so let me know if I need to slow it down a little bit next time. So that's all the books that I've finished, okay? So I am in the middle right now. After reading The Teacher, I felt like I needed a little come down. It was a lot, and it was really intense, and I read it really fast. So I picked up from the library a cozy mystery, and I'm about halfway through this. It's called Peril in Pink. Like I said, I'm about halfway through, and it's very easy. It's very lighthearted. It still has like somebody's dead, but it's. Let me just read the synopsis and why I selected this one. So the first thing that I saw was up at the top here. It says, Schitt's Creek meets Only Murders in the Building in this sparkling debut mystery. So that got me. I love both of those shows. If you've never watched Schitt's Creek or Only Murders in the Building, do yourself a favor. They will change your life. They are so good. Okay, so here's the synopsis. It's the grand opening of the Peril B&B in Hudson Valley, and owner Jess Byrne, characters also got my name, has prepared the ultimate Insta-worthy welcome, complete with her ex-boyfriend, reality singing sensation Lars Armstrong, performing live as guests check in and mimosas are poured. Lars arrives with his stepdad turned manager Bob in tow. But things go south when Bob is found dead and Lars is the prime suspect. After a desperate plea from Lars and knowing the reputation of her B&B is at stake, Jess agrees to help clear Lars's name. But the more she digs, the less sure she is that he's innocent, especially when he's found at the scene of another murder. With the guests under lockdown, the B&B in the press for all the wrong reasons, and a killer on the loose, Jess is in over her head. With the help of her best friend and business partner, Kat, Jess is determined to uncover the truth before Lars is put behind bars and the Peril is permanently closed. So, it's again, like, when I see it in my head, it's a Hallmark movie. Maybe like a fun, girly Halloween Hallmark movie. But it's just very lighthearted. I don't feel all the feels like I did with The Teacher. So I'll let you know. But like I said, I'm about halfway through. Hopefully I can finish it up because I will show you what I have next. I'm excited about it. So I have one more, and this is, I have not started yet. I need to get on it because I gotta return things to the library. But I found this. This is by Isabella Maldonado, and it's called The Cipher. So, just on my last library trip, I got The Teacher, The Peril in Pink, and The Cipher, and so that's intense, easy, cozy mystery, and then another intense. So, this book, I have never heard of this author before. If you have heard of this author, let me know. Let me know what you think and what your opinions of any other books were. So, it says, it takes an FBI agent with a dark past to solve the darkest crimes. FBI Special Agent Nina Guerrera, I am the whitest person ever, Guerrera, escaped a serial killer's trap at 16. Years later, when she's jumped in a Virginia park. A video of the attack goes viral. Legions of new fans are not the only ones impressed with her fighting skills. The man who abducted her 11 years ago is watching. Determined to reclaim his lost prize, he commits a grisly murder designed to pull her into the investigation. But the games are just beginning, and he's using the internet to invite the public to play along. His coded riddles may have made him a depraved social media superstar, an enigmatic, dubbed the Cipher. But to Nina, he's a monster who preys on the vulnerable. Partnered with the FBI's preeminent mind hunter, Dr. Jeffrey Wade, who is haunted by his own past, Nina tracks the predator across the country, clue by clue, victim by victim. Nina races to stop a deadly killer while the world watches. So this sounded like right up my alley, but very different, a very different kind of story than what I've been reading recently. To me anyway, that's what it felt like. So I'm excited to dive into this one. And I'll have to let y'all know what I think. God, I love book tapping so much. It just sounds so good. Alright. Well, that is all that I had for you today. I'm excited to get these couple finished up and then bring them back to the library and go on the hunt again. And maybe even go to the used bookstore because I haven't been in a long time. But if you have any other suggestions for books to add to my TBR, please put them down below. Put them down below. I really just, I stick with, I feel like very one note as a reader. But I've honestly tried. I've tried fantasy. I don't like it. I'm not into spicy books. It's just not for me. Romance, it's not for me. So, if you have any suggestions, I am also trying to push myself into audiobooks as well. And I have started, I believe it's Karen Slaughter's book, Pretty Girl. So I've started listening to that on audiobook, and so far it's interesting. So, any other suggestions, especially if you have a Frida McFadden book that you're like obsessed with, please tell me, because I need to know which one to read next. There's so many. That being said, I hope that each and every one of you are taking care of yourself, taking care of your physical and mental health, and taking time for peace and relaxation in your life. I hope you have a wonderful day,